Hello, 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 and welcome to our second episode tonight of the Stephanie M. Sunday Show You in for a Treat. I have got MJ Harper here tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Very happy that you are here. You know, we have got to talk about teen space conversations. We are going to talk about your nonprofit, and we're going to talk about the new project that you're working on tonight. So I'm excited to hear what you've got going on, Ms. MJ.
Yes,
Before
ma'am.
we get started, our very first question that I ask everyone is please tell us who is MJ Harper.
Who is MJ Harper? MJ Harper is a St. Louis native, Dallas transient. Been here for the last 12, going on 13 years. I am the daughter of a bishop and first lady of 40 years, so I'm a good old PK. I am a minister. I was a youth minister for 20 years back in St. Louis. Kind of took a brief break for the last 10 years from ministry up until about 2 years ago. I made the choice to get back into ministry, and I am the CEO and founding director of Pay It Forward Projects, which is a nonprofit organization, and we are based in Dallas. And we service the unsheltered, low-income families, youth, and women of color, regardless of if that's African American, Indian, Hispanic, whatever, any women of color who reside in both Dallas and Tarrant counties. And we do that through the various programs that we offer through Pay It Forward Projects. Above all, I am a woman who loves the Lord. And I am a mom. I am the mom of one beautiful daughter, Miss Fairah, and it's just she and I here. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Very good, very good. And I had the pleasure of meeting Miss Fairah when I did the interview there. Miss MJ man, she has started something amazing. She started a new Queen's Space Conversations. I even had the pleasure of having her treat. I wanted to call. I even had some of her treats were delicious, just very welcoming, very warm. She is doing her new show from her home, and it was just really to be invited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing time there. Foot fell asleep. But we're going to start with a couple of things. I'd like to know more about your family. What was your family like growing up, MJ?
Oh, my family life was honestly, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I had some amazing parents. I have 5 siblings. I'm the fifth out of 6 children. I'm a baby girl, and I have a little brother. And we grew up in a big house, and we were very involved in church. And so my parents' church was a church filled with young people.
Okay.
And so even though I have 5 siblings biologically, I cannot number how many brothers and sisters that I really have because my parents were parents to all of the young people that came through the church, even some of the folks that was older than them. They were still that still parental figure. So I had a good, fun childhood. Yeah. Going to church, going to midnight musicals and singing with the choir and, being a part of ministry and things like that. But, I wasn't out of church.
Well, I understand.
Yes. So life has been good. Life has been good.
Yeah. We thank our parents for starting those foundations in Christ. but we do go on a journey where we have to figure things out for ourselves. And, that takes a few detours sometimes. But, the good thing about it is we usually always drive back around that trigger.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
I know for myself, I was talking about the things that you did growing up in church. I used to go to BTU. I played Mary every year. MJ, I was Mary every year in the church play. I was
Yeah.
a youth executive in Sunday school, so I get it.
Yes, been there, done that. I told my pastor when I got here, I sat down. I
Yeah.
sat down, and he's like, I said to Mary, what you want to get busy doing? What area you want to work in? And I said, none.
Oh, I get it. Oh, I went
I
through it.
know. Yes, because been there, done that. I've done them all. Hospitality, usher board, choir, praise team, media ministry, children's church, you name it. I
Yeah.
have done it all. So
Yeah.
I came here and I just decided to sit down for a while.
I've never done media ministry. I've done everything else the same, but I've never done media ministry. And I had a really special place in my heart for kids as well. I used to be a children's pastor. And
Yeah.
then, when I was like 19, I was working with teenagers at a
Hmm.
church, but I was still only 19 myself. Okay,
Yes.
but
Yes. Pretty
it was
much the same here.
yeah, it was a pleasure working in children's ministry. They're just so lovable, and the organization that you have now, Pay It Forward. You're doing a lot with working with the youth and with women, and I think that is amazing. Now, I saw that you had a big gala a few months ago. Was that part of your Pay It Forward project?
Yes, it is part of Pay It Forward projects. And pretty much everything that I do falls under Pay It Forward projects because we're just that. We have various projects
Right.
that we do. So we have Tiffany's Heart, which is our unsheltered outreach program. We have Sharon's Rose, which is our family resource program. We have the Young Survivors Camp, which is our youth education and mentorship program. And then we have MJ's Closet. And MJ's Closet is our community resource closet where we're able to outsource our in-kind donations into the community through our various community partners. So other nonprofit organizations that are smaller in number are, just getting started or things like that. When they need additional supplies to go out to the unsheltered or to the people that they service in their community, we link up, we partner together. If it's something that Pay It Forward projects can assist with and provide them aid with, then that's what we do. And we take the contributions and donations from our sponsors and our donors, and we outsource them back out into the community at no charge through our community partners.
Oh, that's a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
started the Inspiring Women's Award Gala in 2022.
Okay.
And we started that as a way to give recognition to women who head up organizations very similar to what I just described.
Right.
And these are people that are working diligently in the community to offer aid and assistance to other people through various aspects. So we give different awards. We give awards for humanitarianism efforts. We give awards for education and mentorship, social services, social media influence, law and public policies, and health and wellness. And the proceeds from the Inspiring Women's Award Gala go towards our newest venture, which is the ML Harper Scholarship Fund. And that scholarship fund is named after my mom. Because he was a supporter of youth and an advocate for education and fine arts. And so in homage and tribute to my mom, who passed on August 29th of 2022, we did the Inspiring Women's Award Gala just about a month before she passed away. And
Oh,
so that is something that we're doing ongoing. And we'll be giving out that first set or that first round of scholarships to 4 students in the amount of $500 to $750 each in the fall of 2025.
oh, that is a blessing.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is a blessing. That is very nice.
Thank
So you are definitely paying it forward, and that's what it's about, MJ, is collaborating, and blessing in the community. That is what it's about. There's so many blessings that we have that we take for granted, but when we think about how fortunate we are, I really believe that we're supposed to give back.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
we are.
And that's what we are. We believe our slogan is we are blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah,
And that's what the scripture tells us. We are blessed to be a blessing to others. I believe that when we go through different phases in life, and we all experience hardships here and there.
yeah.
But there's a saying, there's a song. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. You know,
Amen.
so
Yeah,
when those troublesome times pass us and we're in a season of harvest or a season of blessing,
yeah,
there's a certain level of accountability
yeah,
that comes with paying that forward,
yeah,
and sowing that seed and investing back into someone, because somebody 99.9%
yeah,
helped you at some point during your difficult time. So
yeah.
we believe in definitely paying that forward.
Yeah, I think that's a blessing.
Hmm.
Keep doing what you're doing. I've been watching even before we actually met, because we met most recently, but I had definitely seen, you at events and everything. We just never made our way across the room, but
Yes.
already doing some amazing things. And so it was an honor to meet you about a month ago now. So it was very good back to meet you. Tell us about, and let me say this, I've already kind of backing on a little bit, but Queen Space Conversations was amazing.
Thank
It
you.
was our first time meeting in person, like formally. We've been in the same room, but it didn't feel right. It was so welcoming, very comfortable. Went along with me as well, and it was just amazing. Why did you come up with the concept of actually doing the interview in your home? Tell me what made you decide to do it this route, Miss MJ.
Um, I'll first say the initial concept behind Queen Space Conversations is kind of connected to the Inspiring Women's Award Gala.
Okay.
Um, so we just celebrated our third year. And
Oh,
yes, this was our third gala. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Okay.
And each year we give out awards to 16 different women, right?
Okay.
And a lot of these women I found, learned about, came to the awareness of through my social media and my networking platforms, and doing the research on them and the amazing things that they were doing in the community. And so all of these women were a part of the Inspiring Women's Alliance
Okay.
once they are awarded their Inspiring Women's Award. So,
Okay.
with that alliance, we have a powerhouse full of women who are doing amazing things in the community. But so often people only see us in the public light,
Right.
and they don't get to see us in our vulnerable places. They don't get to see us be funny. They don't get to
Yeah.
see us let our hair down or anything like that. So I not only wanted to honor these women for the work that they do in the community, but I wanted an opportunity to be able to sit down with them one on one, which you can't do in one evening.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to sit down with them one on one and give them an opportunity to reach the audience and reach the people and tell them more about themselves and what they do
Right.
in an effort to raise awareness
Right.
to the various issues that they support or that they back. And, because we all need a little bit of help out
Oh yeah.
here, being aware of, who's in our community and what we're doing. So
Yes.
this was an opportunity for me to actually sit down with these ladies who, I've awarded to be able to sit down with them and, have just a one-on-one with them. Each one of them I've had the pleasure of talking to, and I've been blessed to develop some amazing relationships with some of these women, and they are funny, and they are, beautiful souls and beautiful spirits. And this was an opportunity for me to do my part to let the world know, about these beautiful diamonds, these beautiful gems that, are blessing the community. And then I'll just be honest, I'm real silly.
It's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, I'm silly, I'm blunt, and I love girlfriend time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just, you sit back, you have a cup of coffee, you have a glass of wine or whatever, you sit back and you just relax and talk about the day and, take your hat off. So Queen Space is an opportunity for these ladies to come and just be themselves.
Right.
And the reason why I call it Queen Space is because, and I told you this, and I said, I just like my house.
You did say that. You did say that.
I just like my house, and this is my space. And I'm in a season in my life where I recognize that I am a queen, that I am God's royalty, And so I want my house to reflect royalty. And this is my opportunity for me to bring these ladies in and show them a little bit of hospitality and give them an opportunity to get to know me as well.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Queen's Space Conversations is airing every Sunday.
Yes.
And so this past Sunday, you have the interview with Lantage Wood.
Yes.
And I am so excited to be this Sunday.
Yes. This Sunday is our interview.
Conversation.
Yes.
Every time I tell my story or parts of my story, I always go back and be like, I say that, because you get in these comfortable spaces and you can't be vulnerable. And, that is really, really good, you're able to be open and vulnerable. And so I myself am looking forward to seeing the interview again, and watching it again. Just to see it. It was a very amazing moment to be able to be open and share a little bit more, about my story. Because I do bits and pieces over here and bits and pieces over there. So it's always nice to be in that moment where you feel comfortable, sharing. And so with that being said, MJ, we have one terrible thing in common. But, the good thing is that we're neighbors. And the interview that we did on your show was about the subject domestic violence. And it's domestic violence month. I have a event in the Fort Worth area on the 27th. At the bookshop about domestic violence. And as a survivor, you say, what do you say about this month? What do you say about this subject? What do you have for us tonight?
As a survivor, I would say that Domestic Violence Month is so important. Because there were some things that you hit on as a part of our interview when we talked about domestic violence is any violence that occurs in the home.
Right.
And it's not necessarily just with your mate or with your partner.
Right.
Domestic violence can be, violence at the hand of a parent, violence at the hand of a sibling, just being mistreated and things like that
Yeah.
within the space that's supposed to be your safe space,
Right.
from the people that you are supposed to be safe with,
Yeah.
and to experience domestic violence. And that some people are in domestic violence situations and they don't even realize that that's
Yeah.
what it is that they're in. And so I believe that Domestic Violence Month is so vitally important, because it gives us an opportunity to reach out to the community and expand on exactly what domestic violence is, and in some cases help people to identify that that really is, the situation that they're involved in. And not only that, but to let them know that there's a way out,
Yeah.
that they don't have to stay in the situation that they're in, because Domestic Violence Month, tells story after story after story after story of women who were brave enough to make that exit. But the
Yeah.
other side of that is it also tells story after story after story of women and men
Yeah.
who did not, fortunately, leave that situation
Yeah.
voluntarily, and
Yeah.
they're no longer with us. And
Yeah.
so it gives people an opportunity to know that you can choose. You can
Yeah.
choose to be a survivor, or
Yeah.
you can choose to be a victim. You can choose to stay, or you can choose to go. And it lets them know that there is help and that there is hope.
Yeah. What you said, it just struck a chord because at the event that's going to be at the Dot Bookshop on the 27th, 3 to 5, keynote speaker MJ is a man.
Yes.
It is a male survivor of domestic violence, and often we don't really hear from men about the things that they have suffered and that they have went through. But just like you said, domestic violence is it's much broader than what we hear. We will actually hear from our keynote speaker. His name is actually Alex Allen, and
Yeah.
then we also have another speaker, Miss Anita Sproils, who will be
Yeah.
speaking as well. And we have, this event is around the book anthology that I just finished with 13 other women. So
Yes.
many of them that wrote in the book had experienced some type of abuse. And so it only makes sense, right? And then on top of it, one of our co-authors, in the process of us publishing the book, one of our co-authors was murdered by her husband.
Oh no. Oh
Stabbed
my
her.
goodness.
Yes. And so the fact that this is Domestic Violence Month, we dedicated the book to her. Her name was Yolanda Williams, and um, it is very tragic. It's very sad, that this happened. The timing of it, I mean, all of it. Um,
Yes.
but the co-authors, we dedicated this book to her, and this program is in memory of her as well. We'll be talking about this. It's a heavy subject. A heavy
Yes.
subject.
Yeah.
I, it's something that we should talk about and have awareness of all the time. It's so heavy. It's just, I kind of, it's not something you want to talk about every day, but it's a
Yeah.
reality.
But we have to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
We have to have those uncomfortable conversations because that's the only way that we'll be able to avoid situations like what happened with Yolanda,
Yeah.
and, we need to know, even as survivors,
Yeah.
if we have an abuser who is still out there, depending on their mentality or whatever, we have to, be able to know, what to do to
Yeah.
protect ourselves. Not only do you walk away, but you need to know that you need to move differently depending on the type of person or the personality that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And we can't, take things for granted. And we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our children,
Yeah.
so we don't have stories like this. There was a young lady, and I can't remember her name, but it was in the news media here in the DFW,
Okay.
and she opened up a location, and it was called the Smash Glass location or something like that.
Okay.
And this was a location where you could go, and they had the sledgehammers and things like that. And,
Hmm.
if you needed to vent, if you needed to let out frustration, if you, had anxiety or,
Yeah.
you go in there, you get you a sledgehammer and you can tear up some stuff.
Go
You know what
crazy.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
used it as a form of therapy as a result of her own healing from her domestic violence situation. And it
Mm.
was a help to so many people, from what I understand, within the DFW area.
Yeah.
But her ex found her,
Uh,
found her, and they found her murdered. You
Jesus.
know, and she was a survivor. She had made her exit and she had gotten away. So not
Mm.
only do we need to empower women to leave,
Yeah.
yes, we need to empower them to leave, but we also need to educate them on how to protect themselves
Yeah.
and protect their children. You
Yeah.
can't post everything on social media. You can't do all the check-ins and stuff like
No.
that. And,
Listen,
post,
MJ, I just had a conversation with somebody last night
mm-hmm.
that just came out of a domestic violence situation, and they're posting events and places that they're going to be. And I just had this conversation last night. I said, you need to be careful about posting where you're going to be, because these people, especially with it being recent,
Yes,
these people will get fake profiles. They will do all kinds of stuff. You block them on one thing, they pop up somewhere else because
absolutely.
they are sick. They're
Yes,
potential. And so we have to, you're right. We not only have to get away, but we have to equip them. Like you said, MJ, people need to be equipped to think smart, and get the police involved. Tell family what's going on. You've got to make sure that you have eyes and ears,
yes,
and it can be a tough situation, it can be a very,
absolutely.
and let's see, we've got Sharice with us tonight. She said your audio has some feedback still. I don't know what's going on with this audio. I tried to fix it earlier. Let me see.
There you go.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Really?
Did you adjust your volume?
I'm trying.
That just got rid of it all. Whatever you just did, don't do nothing else.
Hmm. Okay.
You sound amazing now.
Yeah, I was trying to, because it was just steady, going. But yeah, we've got to do more than just get away. It's like, what's next? You've
Yes.
got that means getting other people involved, and just stop sharing so much information, because turn off your location.
Yeah. And so I had a similar conversation with someone. Who knows? It might have been the same person. I have no idea. But but I can say I'll share some of the helpful tips that I shared with that young lady.
Okay.
So yes, you can build your career. Yes, you can attend the events. You can post that you are attending the events, but post them in past tense is
Yeah.
what I suggested to her. Do not give anyone a prelude to where you're going to be.
Mhm.
If you want to post a check-in that you're at an event and post pictures, do it when you're back at home in the safety of your home behind closed doors, because you can go and post an event on Facebook post haste. And you can say, you can do your live check-in and say, hey, I'm here, or I was there, or whatever. Or sometimes you can post everything doesn't have to be immediate. Everybody doesn't need to have immediate access to you. If you're a small business owner, if you're operating any type of business out of your home, never bring anyone to your home who you do not know when you've been in a domestic violence situation and you suspect that counterpart could still be looking for you, because you don't know who they know. It's like you said, people set up fake Facebook profiles, and these days people have conspirators, who are victims of domestic violence, probably by that same person themselves, and they'll use conspirators, and they'll use other people to help seek you out. They'll manipulate other people and cause them to, be a part of your demise. So you have to be careful. You have to vet who you deal with. You have to vet where you go, all those things.
And as women, when we travel and we do things, we have to make sure not to travel alone.
Absolutely.
I make sure that I do not travel alone. And, it's really important to get your metal friend as well.
I got laugh at me sometimes because I got me a pretty pink pistol.
Okay.
I got me a pretty pink pistol.
Yeah.
I keep it, because at this point I'm beyond those type of situations. I'm out of those situations by the grace of God. And, I know enough about the signs to know that that's not another situation that I'm going to allow myself to be put in. But I got one, but I'll be honest. I was sharing with someone the other day. I said, I'm not the person that needs to have a weapon. Because, and I kind of share with you some of my story, but, I tell everybody, they laugh at me because, I love the Lord, I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, but it's a few words still dealing with me on. And, I'll tell them, I ain't never been the one to sit down and say, I'm going to take no ass whoopings. Yeah, that has never been my story. However, that doesn't mean that I wasn't a victim of domestic violence. It doesn't mean that I wasn't in a domestic violence situation, because I was. I've been in more than one, But for me, I felt like it wasn't domestic violence because I was going to fight.
That's what I was about to say. You were telling me when I was there at your house that you were one of those people that didn't think you were in a domestic violence situation. It all kind of just hit you.
Yeah. It did. It just kind of hit me, and it hit me after the fact. With both situations that I was in. Well, I won't even say both. With all three situations that I've been in over the course of my time here on earth. It didn't occur to me, until later in life that, man, that was a crazy situation I was in, And, I divorced from my husband in 2021. And I didn't allow myself an opportunity to heal, and so I allowed myself to get right into, another courtship, or, with honey, when I say narcissist, he gives it a whole new meaning, and 2022 was our first gala, and I haven't shared with many, over the course of time. But as I, increase my platform for domestic violence and women's empowerment, I have to look back on my own life and my own situation. And I believe that there's accountability and transparency. So our first gala was July. It was July the 24th, I believe, on Sunday in 2023. Literally a week before the gala, I had just started walking again.
Whoa.
And I had just started walking again because the relationship that I was involved in, that I was attempting to get away from, he grabbed my car keys, and I reached in the car to get my car keys. Get my keys, just leave. We don't have to see each other again. Just leave, let it go. I went to grab my car keys, and he was ready. So he was intentional when he came over to my house. And when I reached into his car to grab my car keys, and be like, let's just end this. He handcuffed me to his steering wheel.
What?
And took off.
Oh my God.
And my child was in the house.
Oh my God.
So by the grace of God, my weight broke the handcuffs, but not before he dragged me about half a block down my street.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so I literally had just healed enough to make it to this Inspiring Women's Award Gala, where I'm honoring all these impactful, powerful women, and here I am in this domestic violence situation. And the reason why I say that or bring emphasis to that is because you never know what the person next to you is going through.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to be able to identify signs. Yeah. And even in those moments where we can't identify signs, then that's when it's so important to be able to share your story.
Yeah.
Because we don't always look like what we're going through.
No.
That evening, at the gala, I wore a beautiful, floor length gown, but I had to wear a floor length gown because my legs were cut, bruised, battered, open wounds, and I didn't want anybody to see that, and that's what we do in domestic violence situations is we cover it up.
We hide
we cover it up and we hide things, and we're prideful about what we're going through because people have this perception of who we are, without knowing the hell that we're dealing with behind closed doors.
I was thinking about when I was at your home and we were doing the interview. It's like some stuff, MJ, you suppress it. You really just suppress it and minimize it to try to make it, to try to get through it, And I remember at your house when we were talking that I went back to my first marriage and I relived a couple things that I hadn't thought about in a really long time. And one of those things was I was in such denial about the emotional and mental abuse that I was going through. Living a double life, buying presents for myself, putting my name in presents to cover up that my spouse was not buying me presents or celebrating me. Mother's Days, no birthdays, no any of this. I literally went that far to help to make my family believe that this is the situation, and I can remember him doing it, wrapping it, and doing all this stuff. He could have cared less or they didn't because he was a narcissist. So he could have cared less if they knew.
Yeah.
But the fact that I went through all this trouble and, did these things, and, it went from it started out with the first couple of dates, and we talked about how it eases in where sometimes you're not aware of what's going on, but it started with us when we first started dating. You get a Coke, I get a water.
Yeah.
After you drink the Coke, then you can get, we switch, but
Yeah.
you don't want to pay for two drinks. So you get a Coke, I get a water.
Yeah.
And then it
We'll
changes.
switch cups.
Huh?
Then we'll switch cups.
Yeah, it's the control mechanism moving in. And then once you get married, then it moves to all of a sudden what you've been doing all your life, taking a bath. They start telling you how to take a bath. Well,
Yeah.
don't sit in the bathtub water because it has dirt and oil in it. You need to stand up when you take a bath. What?
Yeah.
Fold the clothes this way, do this, that. And it's just like, wait a minute, I have been taking a bath all my life. And then you're
Yeah.
going to take a bath. But guess what I did? I started taking a bath like you said.
Yeah.
Because it was easy. I didn't have to hear about it. And so before I knew it, just like you said, everything escalated. Everything escalated. And I shared with you on that. Well, there were two incidences that led to my escape, and we can talk about yours here in just a moment as we talk about your new Royal, Project Royal. One of them was being put out of the bedroom, having to sleep with my son.
Yeah.
When I started thinking about boiling grits, cooking, heating up some hot oil, anything that was when I had made up my mind that, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore, and then I had a miscarriage. And remember, I told you, when I had the miscarriage, I got dropped off at the hospital.
Yes.
And I will never forget that. I could not call my family because this facade that I had been putting on that were so great. I had to call some members of my church. And MJ, when it gets that real, like, we can't even lie to ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
In that moment, I couldn't lie to myself anymore. It was like, girl, you better call somebody because they're not going to do the picture unless you get somebody up here. But he can drop you off to go pay some bills, and you're not your boyfriend. We thought your whole husband has dropped you off while you were having your miscarriage to go
With his,
and he'll be back with my baby in the car, and he will come and pick me up when it's over. Like, what?
yeah.
When was the moment for you that you realized that this was what you were in, MJ? If there's somebody that's watching and we are trying to get them to see the light, what is that moment that you realize this is not normal? This is not what it should be?
The thing that did it for me, where I really just had to have a come to Jesus moment, was because I knew it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I knew it was taxing. I knew it was tiring.
Yeah.
It was physically, my situation with my husband in particular was physically making me sick. All of my hair was falling out. I had indigestion I could not get rid of. Water gave me diarrhea. I was in pain all the time, didn't know why. I had migraine. I literally, Stephanie, and no exaggeration, I literally had a migraine for 62 days straight. And I counted. And I was running back and forth from doctor to doctor. They were doing MRIs. They were doing CAT scans, EEGs. Like I said, water would make me run off. It would affect my digestive system. I was going to the, doctor. I had to have colonoscopies, all these different tests. And the thing that did it for me, because my doctor was, kind of aware of my home situation at the time. And the thing that did it for me was when my doctor finally sat down with me and said, Ms. Harper, we've run every single test that we can run. And can I just be honest with you? And I said, yes. And she said, he's killing you without killing you. Because the stress that you're dealing with is having such an impact on your body that,
Mm,
your brain is sending all these endorphins and signals and things
mm,
to your
mm, mm.
head
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you know, you can't, deal with. Um, and so I was dealing with that and
Mm,
listened to what she was telling me about that. And I went to work one day and my supervisor asked me to come in her office. I went in her office and she was like, look, hey, let me ask you about this report. Can you help us do this, that, or the other? And I just broke down bawling. I
yeah.
couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I was shaking. I was just a mess,
You couldn't
and
take it anymore.
yeah, I
Mm,
couldn't take it anymore. And
yeah.
at that point, he had given up his sobriety. Um, 3.5 years of being, sober and drug free. We had a great marriage, you know. But the moment that he gave up his sobriety, everything went, crazy. And so he had lost his job,
Mm,
and you know, it would get to the point where he had a tracker on my car. And if I said, okay, babe, I'm going to work, I'm going to pick up baby girl from school and
yeah.
stop at the grocery store. If I picked her up from school and I stopped at a girlfriend's house on the way to the grocery store, I stopped at, another store on the way, my phone was ringing. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said you were going to do this, that, or the other. I see you made another stop. you know, I
Yeah.
was dealing with things like that.
Yeah.
But the thing that did it for me, where I was done, and I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
We had a fight, and he would go out to the garage and drink in the wee hours of the night and do his cocaine in the middle of the night, and it was an upper for him. So I'd be
Yeah.
in the house in the bed sleep. And so now he's on these uppers, and
Mm,
he wants to come in the house and fight and argue with me 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And this one particular morning, he came in. I don't even remember what we were arguing about, and I ignored it. So he dragged me out of the bed, and all I remember is that fist getting ready to come down on my face,
mm,
and I grabbed him where the sun don't shine, and I held on for dear life,
mm,
But when I got up, the man that vowed to love, honor, and protect me stood in the middle of our sacred place, our bedroom, where we should be able to love each other and commune with each other and
okay.
fellowship with each other as husband and wife. My husband stood in the middle of the floor and put his dukes up like he was going to fight me like a man in the street. And at that point, I didn't have anything else to say because, like I said, I told you I was a fighter. I fought back.
Yeah.
But at that point, when he did that, any love that I had was gone.
Yeah.
Any disillusions I had at that point was gone.
Yeah.
And any respect that I was clinging to hold on to at that point was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And so I looked at him and I turned around. I got my clothes out the closet and got ready to go to work. I
Mm,
didn't say anything. I didn't address him anymore. I just left him standing there with his dukes up in the middle of the floor
yeah.
because I knew that was it for me. And
Yeah.
so
You were
after
done.
that, I called his former boss and I was like, he needs his job back and I need you to send him to another city,
Mm,
and I told him why. And so his boss gave him his job back
yeah.
and sent him to Atlanta. And keep in mind, at this point, I'm at day 59 of having
The
this
headache.
migraine that would not go away. And so over that next course of days, I cleaned his clothes, I washed them, I ironed them, I packed them up real good, got them all together. And then he said, I'm not going. I don't have any money to get the luggage and do all of this. And at this point, I was carrying all the bills, so I didn't have a lot of extra. So all I knew is that I needed to get out. So I texted every friend I had and said, just send me $10. Send me $10, send me $20. I need to pay for his luggage. I need to get him some spending money and get him something to eat. Whatever I need to do to get him out of here. I just need to get him out of here. Yeah. And I had friends sending me, now I asked for $10. I had friends sending me $100, $200, whatever you need to get him out of there. Get him out of there. You know, and that's what I did. And when we drove to the airport, my head was banging so bad when I took him to the airport. And he got out of the car, got his luggage out, and I kissed him. And I hugged him and I said, I love you. I love you. And you take care of yourself.
You did what you had to do to get through.
I'll be back in 2 weeks. Yeah, he thought he was just going to work for a little while, you know. Yeah. And he said, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I didn't argue. I said, okay, I'll see you then. But I already knew that wasn't going to happen. You know? And I tell you, I drove through DFW Airport. And I was exiting out of the south exit. And no exaggeration, Stephanie, I didn't take a pain pill. I didn't take an ibuprofen. I didn't take anything. Yeah. But the moment that little door shot back up so I could exit out, my head stopped hurting.
It was very, yeah.
My head stopped hurting. And I did not have another migraine for 8 months.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'm going to go deep for a minute, Miss MJ. When you are not with the right people, they will make you sick. Their spirit, the spirit that they have, the presence that they have attached to them will make you sick.
Yes.
Your body will reject them.
Yes.
In intimacy, your body will reject them.
Yes.
In your life, you will have migraines or you will be nauseated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you will always feel like you can throw up.
Yes.
You know? And people think that's because it's not, because I went through it. I went through a stage where my mouth constantly watered and I constantly had to throw up, felt like I had to throw up because of the behavior and the treatment, you know, that I had been through. But I pray that you are watching this show tonight. We have said so many major things. If you're in a situation, male or female, and you are going through domestic violence, take steps to get yourself to safety, just like MJ just shared. Get along to get to a safety place, you know, to get to a safe place for you and for your children if you have children involved as well. MJ, I think we have definitely done an amazing job at kind of touching on domestic violence and letting our stories be told. I do want to talk about your new project, Project Royal. Please tell us about what's going on with Project Royal.
So Project Royal is a prom that we have decided to put together. And my daughter was the inspiration behind that. Okay. And that is because she had a situation that she dealt with at school, and it allowed her an opportunity to volunteer at the DAEP in Grand Prairie. And a lot of the students there, you know, if they're juniors, if they're seniors, if you're on DAEP, you're not allowed to participate in whatever, you know, extracurricular activities or whatever are going on your regular school campus, because they unenroll you. You know, it's a disciplinary action and things like that. And so my daughter would come home and tell me about, you know, some of the kids that were at this particular school location. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are foster care kids, you know, juniors and seniors, you know, between the ages of 17 and 18 or 17 and 19 that are aging out of the foster care system. Well, as I began to kind of look at that situation and do some research, I learned that, foster parents, they receive a specific stipend for the youth or the children that they take into their home. And that doesn't always allot for the extracurricular activities and things that go on. So a lot of foster care students, children don't get an opportunity to have that experience of the class ring, the Letterman jacket, the prom, all of these extra things because the funds are not allocated for that.
Yeah.
Then you also have young people that are not in independent foster care homes. They're in group homes, and they don't provide a stipend for that. And so a lot of times they end up missing out on the opportunity to just be normal kids and participate in these type of events like their schoolmates. And so we wanted to do something to let them know that they are not alone. And to give them an opportunity to still have a memorable school year, especially if it's their senior year, especially if they're, doing their best to, full stride ahead despite their circumstances and situations. We wanted to, as Pay It Forward projects, let these young people know that they're not alone. Because sometimes, there can be a stigma attached with being a foster kid. If your classmates or schoolmates know about it, kids can be cruel. They can be cruel, it's some intentionally and some unintentionally, but we wanted to give them an opportunity to participate in that experience. So on April 13th, 2025, we will host Project Royal, which is a prom focused on high school juniors and seniors who are aging out of the foster care system. And we are partnering with local community organizations, any community organization that wants to be a part of us, helping us to make this a success. We would love to have them come on board and be a part of Project Royal. We're looking for event planners and event decorators to help us make the venue beautiful. We're looking for, luxury transportation services to help us provide them with that luxury transportation ride that, the kids get to have. We're looking for caterers, who will help us to create a delectable menu for the kids. So there's something that everyone can do to be a part of this community effort to bless these young people and provide them with a memorable experience.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to say 3 words. I want you to tell me which one stands out the most to you and why.
Okay.
Healing, empowerment, transformation.
Transformation.
Okay.
Transformation stands out to me because I'm in the process of my own transformation. And through the process of transformation, we morph. We morph into different places, as we are transforming into who we are becoming. I have a girlfriend who, always puts a tagline on her Facebook post, evolve and dissolve, So when we're transforming and when we're morphing, with each new stage, we're shedding, we're dissolving, a part of who we are, who we've come into the realization of, I need to leave that behind. And, I need to soar forward into what's next for me and to becoming this person that God has predestined and ordained for me to be. I'm no longer who I used to be. It's the song that says, I'm not what I want to be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be. you know.
Yeah.
And so we morph, we transform. And so for me, I'm in my own stage of transformation in various aspects of my life, mentally, physically, emotional, spiritually, financially. I'm transforming and I'm morphing. And I'm seeing myself shift gears and change from being one person to, being this new, person that I've evolved and grown into. So yeah, transformation would be my word.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Tell us, MJ, how can people get in touch with you? If they want to partner with you or with your project Royal, if they want to partner with you with Pay It Forward, let the guests know how they can get in touch with you, please.
Call me. I will answer. No. Just call me. No, but my contact information is MJ Holly, HOLLY .P for Paul, I for Indigo, F for Frank, P for Paul at outlook.com. Our contact number is 682-701-0576. And our website, which is still under development, but prayerfully will be up and going here in just a few short days, is Pay It Forward. Now, forward is not spelled out. Forward is the number 4, WARD. So Pay It, the number 4, WARD, projects with an S on the end at us.com.
All right, very good. We have had an amazing conversation tonight. I have really enjoyed you, Miss MJ. Glad that we were able to get together tonight.
Yes.
In closing, what would you like to say in closing? What are your closing thoughts?
Especially since we've talked a lot about domestic violence, for anyone who is watching this situation, watching this video, and you're in that situation, the first thing that I would want to leave with you is that God loves you.
Yeah.
God loves you, and He wants what's best for you. The Bible says that He wishes above all things for us to prosper and have great success and good health. Yeah. And you cannot have those things staying in the situation that you're in. If you're in a domestic violence situation and, you're not sure about it, and he comes home and brings you some flowers after he done bust you upside your head, it's domestic violence. Yeah. If he come home and he tell you how beautiful you are and doting and loving on you after he just called you everything up under the sun, it's domestic violence. If he plays mind games with you to make you feel like you can't get nobody else and you not ever gonna have nothing else and don't nobody want you with all these kids and things like that, it's domestic violence. But I want to let you know today that the devil is a lie. You don't have to stay in the situation that you're in. There is hope, and there is a light on the other side of through. You got to go through it. It's not going to feel good all the time. You might have to end up going to a shelter temporarily, or staying with Big Mama, or staying with your cousin or whatever, sleeping on somebody's floor. But it's a part of the process, and you got to go through the process. But I promise you, there is another side of through.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Miss MJ. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Your encouraging words. Yes, if you are in a domestic violence situation, please seek help. Talk to somebody. You don't have to be alone. Talk to somebody that can help you to get out of the situation safely. This has been a very special episode tonight with MJ Harper, and we have definitely talked a lot in support of awareness of domestic violence. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Please like, tag, share, subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. If you will just Miss MJ, to all of you viewers, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back again on Thursday night for our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephaniemseatontheauthor@gmail.com.